live as well. All right, so before we get started, please make sure that you have your Canvas workroom from yesterday open up in one tab. Today's Google form for the short activities you'll complete throughout our session. Again, please do not fill out the form before we start or go ahead. Just make sure you fill it out as we're going through the session so we can make sure that we are where we need to be. All right, I see chat screen coming up here. Okay. Make sure that your mic is muted. I was not able to hear the feedback yesterday because I had my speakers off, but many people do have their speakers on. I see people having with headsets on. Is it hard to hear me? Let me know if I need to up my volume. Okay, hold on 1 second. So I think it depends on some people. Some said yes. So let me fix my button. I switched over to my headset today because I noticed I was a little tinny can yesterday. So give me a second. I'm going to go ahead and pause my mic and fix my headset. Okay, is this better or worse? And then I'll move forward. Okay, good. All right, good. So let's go ahead and move forward. Just to let you guys know, if people who are trying to come into the session are texting you and letting you know they can't get in, that's probably true. I'm denying people, anyone who's logging in outside of their CCSD Gmail account, because I have to be able to give a way to verify everything, to really push and get you guys those CUs for this week. 10 hours with me equals 3 CUs. So I want to be able to do what I can to help you guys out. And if they accept your CUs, then maybe they'll accept my CUs for doing this as well. So if they do text you and let you know, just have them log in with their CCSD Gmail account, and then they'll be given automatic entry. All right, does anyone else need the Google link, the Google form link before I move forward? Does everyone have the Google form link? I'm going to go ahead and paste it into the chat screen again. I have someone texting me about, texting me personally what I just told you. Someone texted you guys. All right, I apologize for that. Okay, no more distractions for me. Another thing that you probably noticed this different today is that we have closed captioning at the bottom of our Google Meet screen. This is something that has been released over the last few months, and I had forgotten that's a feature we can use. What happens is yesterday I noticed that when I recorded our session, after I was done, it processed and dropped the video link into my Google Drive. If I attach the CC option while I'm recording, it will upload a transcript when I put it on YouTube for you guys to review. So just a quick and a dirty little secret behind Google Meets that I'm sharing with you guys that I didn't even know until today. So some web norms we're going to be going through today, since we're working virtually, is I ask you guys to please keep your mics closed. I believe the only time we're probably going to use microphones between me and participants will be Friday when we have our actual discussions. It would be easier to voice questions and comments when we do an actual true Q&A discussion style lesson. For these other ones, since I'm walking you guys through a specific process, giving you steps, it's probably easier, better to do this. I will switch it up as needed. Sidebar conversations, please keep them outside of our chat screen so we can make sure that we are able to focus on people's questions and concerns. Again, thank you to Mel, who will be coming in through the chat screen and answering those technical questions when I don't catch them when I'm presenting the flashy, showy gadget things on the screen. And then if you're feeling overwhelmed or frustrated, please, I mean, by all means, you're an adult and you can do what you want, but don't feel that you have to stick it out through the end. You can wait for the recording and do it later on today. That's the main reason why I did it early, not early in the morning, but early enough in the day where I can get the video processed and posted up sooner. Yesterday, I just ended up getting hammered by my 5 kids coming home, so I didn't get it up until like 8 o'clock last night. It will be up sooner today. So yesterday we looked at navigating our Canvas learning management system. We tweaked our settings and notifications, and then we went through navigating your own workrooms and looking at the back end with the settings and features that you can have access to. It looks like the first 2 questions on the Google Doc are the same. Let me go ahead and check that really quick before I move forward. Thank you for letting me know, Maria. Go ahead and stare at my lovely beach theme screen while I fix this. I have to fix a Padlet. So I apologize for that. That's total user error. So when you guys go in and answer the actual question that's on the screen for the first question, then I'll change it in the Padlet. So yes, the 2 questions are the same, but the first one will be different and will come on the screen in a moment. All right, so today we're going to be looking at creating pages and assignments, exploring Canvas Commons. So again, if you're looking to work in Canvas and you're grades pre-K through 5, there's nothing in there yet but a template to kind of give you a guidance on how to set out the flow of content. But outside of that, there's no like actual course content as in curriculum. And then creating content with Google Drive, I know, quite a few teachers had expressed anxiety of how to take what they've already built in Google Classroom and Google Drive and putting it into Canvas. So I'm going to show you guys how I've done that myself because I build in Google Drive as well for my students' assignments. So before we go into our first question of the day, I just wanted to give you guys an idea of how many people where they sat in their comfort zone yesterday after going through our session together with me. And just to remind you guys, the rating scale was 1, I'm still lost and overwhelmed. 2 was I'm getting the hang of it, but still need a lot of practice. 3 was I'm starting to get a hang of it and ready to learn more. 4 was I'm getting this, and with more practice, I can do better. And the last one was 5, I am a total rock. I'm going to totally rock it this year. So as you can see, out of 74 responses, which wasn't everyone, we had up to like 85 people in our session at one point in time, and then towards the end, it dropped down to like 78. And I know there were plenty of people who had jumped on last night or early this morning to complete the Google form so they can get credit for working through and watching the session yesterday. So a lot of people are hovering around 1, 2, and 3, but it is very encouraging to me to see that there were actually a lot of 3s. I wasn't expecting that after yesterday. So I'm really happy to see that. So before we move forward, did anyone want to share their experience with going through Canvas yesterday really quick? Do you still have, you know, anxieties? Does it make you feel better to know that you're slowly going through it this week? Just a couple people. Does anyone want to share before we move forward? What do you need to add a picture for, Phil? Someone has their microphone on. Can they turn it off, please? Unless you want to speak on the microphone, then just let me know on the chat screen. That way I'm not yelling at people for having their mics on randomly. Oh, you want to know how to put your picture in. Okay. All right, hold on 1 second. Let me turn off my microphone. Go ahead, Carol.
I appreciate learning this ahead of time so I can wrap my brain around it before having to use it. And I'll be able to teach others in my team who are very anxious about using it. So I'm enjoying the time and doing it at the same time. And you're great of saying, no, do this, then that. So thank you.
Oh, thank you very much, Carol. I appreciate it. As you guys know, this is just all on me. I wanted to help my peers when people, honestly, Carol probably would have reached out to me this week regardless. Carol's one of the people that will reach out to me when she has tech issues. There's quite a few people in this session that are sitting in. Once I started getting the questions a couple weeks ago when the plan was first released after June 25th, and people started asking questions, I felt it was important to really use my time wisely versus sitting here in anxiety and panic like you guys. I know I have the tech skills and I'll make it, but when my peers and my friends are contacting me freaking out and I have that knowledge, that's when I feel the need to step up and share. Besides the fact that I have anxieties and fears as well. As you guys know, I am returning to the classroom. So I have a different set of fears and anxieties, and I need to stay productive. I can't sit down and I'm unable to read a book right now. That's how anxious I am about the new school year. So this is my way to de-stress, and I'm glad that people like you all that are attending today and watching the live stream are able to benefit from that. If anything, hopefully you'll be able to hold your head up high when we go back in on the 5th and walk in with confidence after this week and some other practice times you will fit in with Canvas. So I did see a couple of things pop up in the chat screen. Someone had a question about changing their picture in the profile. Thank you for reminding me of that. I did not go over that yesterday. So I will cover that at the end of the session when we wrap up, because that's something super quick and easy, but I don't want to derail the intent of today's session. I'm going to go ahead and, oh, thank you, 𝘒𝘢𝘳𝘀, for putting the Google form in. I saw that being asked a few times, so thank you for that. Let's go ahead and get started. So again, today we're going to be exploring the creating of page and assignment templates. And when I say that, what I mean is you'll work on a couple of things and then you can save that as your own, tweak it to make it your template. Templates within a workroom is going to be your godsend, so you don't have to constantly copy and paste. You can instead go in and duplicate it, and I'll show you guys how to do that today. We're also going to go into the comments section of Canvas to look for content. Again, please don't shoot the person that is presenting today. There's only content in there for grades 6 through 12. And sadly to say, there's not anything under the sun. It's mostly core content with a couple sprinklings of electives. So if there's something in there you want to take a look at that you may not be able to use in its entirety, but you think it might be useful to click around and see how the online blended learning department creates their pages to keep a consistent flow, that might not be a bad idea. And then, of course, you guys are going to create your own page and or assignment depending on how much time is left. The skills are very similar in what you have access to on your own. And then you're going to submit a link to me for that on your Google Drive sheet or your Google Forms so I can look at what you're doing. Okay, maybe it was the same question. So I guess we'll see in a minute if the next question is the same. Have you ever built content that your students can access digitally? What were those experiences? If you have not done so, what do you hope to gain in today's session to help you to do so? Go ahead and answer this in your Google form, and then copy and paste it into the Padlet link provided. As you guys are answering that, I'm going to go ahead and pop up the Padlet. This is something I was really bad about yesterday, is showing you guys what your peers are writing as you guys were working through the session. I'm going to go ahead and turn off my microphone for a couple minutes as you guys answer that question in your Google form and paste it and copy and paste it into the Padlet. Okay, so as you guys can see, I'm taking your guys' responses and moving them around. Padlet allows you guys several different versions of how you set up your basically interactive wall. So as you can see, I'm pulling up responses and kind of organizing them in a manner that kind of makes sense. Oh, someone shared their Google Drive with us. Who was that? And then it went away. Unfortunately, this means when you guys post, it goes down all the way to the bottom. Lots of Google Drive, borrowed content. All right, so at least for the most part, a lot of you seem to have at least some basic skills of dealing with digital content and getting them to your students. So that's good. I was kind of worried there would be a difference in skills in doing that, but that's okay. That's what I'm here for, is to help you guys. So a lot, but also it looks like many of you have had your first experiences this last spring. So unfortunately, you may not have the best or most positive experience. So hopefully sitting in a session today will help you do that. So I'm going to go ahead and organize these later. All the Padlets that we're going to work on today are going to be similar as this. What I'm going to do after today, as I'm speaking about what you all have access to in regards to this session, because I recently found out there's only a 200 original emails you can send out from our CCSD Gmail account. This allowed me to realize that at least 50 people out of 250 people did not receive emails because there's a limit. So I'm going to end up having to import all the emails that you guys have provided to me into MailChimp, and then I'll send you out resources that way. That way I can ensure everyone receives an email and we don't have to depend on Facebook. I know a lot of us are on Facebook, but quite a few teachers that tried to get in yesterday through the live stream do not have Facebook, so I have to be mindful of that. Again, I won't share your information with anyone. It's just for me to be able to get you resources. So after today, when I post up the day 2 session recording, I will give you access to both yesterday and today's live session recording. I'll give you access to all the Padlets so you can see what your colleagues are writing as we are going through the process. As people are completing this outside of our live session time, more responses will pop up on these Padlets. So it will be interesting to see how we evolve and grow throughout the week in learning Canvas together. So I believe everyone should be where they need to be by now. I bought a couple of minutes for people who were texting me trying to come in late. So creating pages and assignments. So Canvas allows you to create a flow similar to like what I tell students, a workbook. So in a workbook or textbook, we get the beginning introduction information, then we get the skills and concepts. There's a sort of a I do, we do, then you do sort of flow with the way things are given to the students. So for instance, in English class, and I apologize, I teach English. So in English class, in a textbook, it would be a short introduction into what skills are going to be used, literary devices usually. Then there's maybe a little bit of vocabulary, application within writing, grammar skills, and mechanics. Then the story or novel that they're supposed to read, and then the follow-up assignments and questions after that. That's what you are basically building when you're doing pages, is giving information in the same way you would literally present it to them face-to-face. You can put videos on there. There's so many different things you can do. You guys saw the different applications you can add in on the back end to help engage your students. You can provide not just videos from like YouTube, but I know some teachers like Phil, I know Phil personally, so I'm gonna pick on him. Phil asked me last night, how do you create those videos on the spot where you show them how to do something? So like a lot of times I will create on the spot screencast for people who are looking to do something pretty simple, like the Loom I sent you guys on Sunday to create your workroom. So we were sort of having that discussion as well as what we can add to our courses to make it more meaningful, more personalized from our teaching style, and engaging for the students. It's basically a flow of information. Assignments. So you can build assignments from scratch in the Canvas Learning Management System. You can integrate your things that you have in Google Drive already. So for instance, I use Google Forms, I use Google Docs, I use Google Slides, and my students use all three as well to turn in work. And it doesn't necessarily have to be turned in through the Google Drive application link in the course navigation bar, which I'll remind you guys what those are in a little bit. But it can literally be by a Microsoft Word document. So you can also have Microsoft Office applications, documents, PowerPoint, go in as assignments as well. It's just a matter of how much space you need. So the reason why I try to push people to Google Drive when building assignments and things that they want to attach to a course, you have to be mindful you only get 500 millibytes. That's right, 500. I see people laughing. 500 millibytes in your course to attach things. Yes, I see you, Maria. 500 millibytes. Yes, that's not a whole lot. So basically what that is that space for you to make the course pretty through images. That's what that space is for. In theory, when you want to make attachments in Canvas, you're going to want to make hyperlinks happen instead. That way you're saving the space. I know over the last quarter of this last spring for us, the big thing was to use Bitmojis to personalize things, to give us a virtual presence online with our students. That can still be done in Canvas. But again, 500 megabytes, not a whole lot in the grand scheme of things when we have like 8 gigs, or in my case, I have a 512 gig iPhone. That's like not even a penny. That's like a peso. Like a peso in regard to like $100 bill when we're looking at space of 500 millibytes to a whole gig. It's crazy. So when we're looking at that, you may want to move to just building everything in Google Drive if you weren't sure where you were going to build your worksheets in the first place. So Canvas, you can use Google Docs, you can use spreadsheets, slides, and forms. You can accept them all because then it's through a share link. And if they're sharing it with you, as long as you have access to their information, you'll be able to see it and grade it. Okay, so this is what was question 2 supposed to be. I'll copy and paste it into the form so it'll change. Oops. So go ahead and open up your Google Drive folder from yesterday. And what I need you to do is go into, let me find I'm going to go ahead and move mine over here. So this is my Google Drive. And what I want you to do is to make sure that the share settings are set so I can also see and access your stuff. If you don't know already, physically your drive is set up for you to share out. And if they have the link and they're logged into their CCSD Gmail account in their Google Drive, it'll open up automatically for them. If you want me to be able to edit, that's when you have to change the link. So what you actually need to do for me right now is to go over to this part where it says copy link, click on it. It will copy into your clipboard, and then you would copy it into the Google Drive. Again, I will go ahead and change that question so we know what the second question is. So I don't remember who pointed that out to me, but thank you for catching that. Okay, so that's an extra one. All right. Again, I apologize for the confusion on that. And when you're done doing that, go ahead and tell me done in the chat screen so I know to move forward. Awesome. Okay, I'm pulling up some of the questions before. I don't know about HyperDocs, Maria. The only thing is the reason why I say it's easier to do Google Drive is because every student has access to Google Drive. And it's something that's pretty standard across the board. HyperDocs, I believe you have to have a separate account for that. I'm not sure. So if students are able to access it and do it, and it's, you know, minimally a little bit of extra work, then yes, you can. At the end of the day, if you can hyperlink it in, or they can give you a share link in the assignment, you can accept it. The problem with having physical attachments like Microsoft Word documents is that, yes, Canvas does take, I think it's called Open Office and a couple other things, but it doesn't take everything. So there's different types of word processing softwares out there that are not the same as Microsoft or Google. Some of those smaller software programs may not be compatible, which is why I push all students to Google Drive. They have access to it, it's easy to use, and I know I can access their work. If they forget to give me share links, then I can, you know, email them right away, and they know they can just give it to me right away. So it's along that line. Thank you, Phil. Okay, so I'm trying to catch other questions that were asking me. How do you get the link for what, Casey? You need me to walk through the share drive again? Carol, you're giving me the share link to your Google Drive folder? So the clipboard is not necessarily Google Drive. It's just the back end of Windows or Mac that copies things down that you would do for the paste next. Sandy, after we type in your name, what share, and click share, what do we do? Go ahead and copy the link for me, Sandy, and copy and paste it into your Google Drive form, please. And okay, Jeff needs me to go over this one more time. I'm sorry, I'm just now seeing it, Jeff. I'm catching up on the questions. All right, so Jeff, you just right click on your folder that I had you guys create yesterday. Go up to share. And then right here at the bottom right of the pop-up screen, click on copy link, and then put it into the Google form. The Padlet links are in the Google form. Mel, I'm sorry. Do you need the Google form link, Mel, so you can see what they're doing? And I know there's some people that are just joining us. There's the Google form link again. And if I'm going too fast, just try to slow me down in some way. I know I see some people's faces on my screen. I see 9 people's faces on my screen. Just kind of wave at me, and then I'll look down at the chat screen to look. Oops. Okay, so I'm sorry, my computer wants to update something. So Carol, you don't have to change the link. It's restricted to CCSD people. Okay, so hold on one second. I need to catch up here. Carol, how do I share a folder with you? Carol, I just need you to right click on your folder, go to share, and then don't mess with the top part. Go to the bottom part here where it says get link. Down in the bottom right hand of the pop-up screen, click on copy link, and then paste that link into the Google Drive. Jeff, you'll know it works if I'm checking your work and I message you and say I can't access your work. I'm not going to check it right now. We'll be sitting here for a while. Again, do not change the permission link. It says, oh no. Oh, I'm so sorry, Janet. Maybe try to save your answers and do the Google form later. And yes, thank you, Nicole. Nicole pointed out something very important. So right now, I don't have access to your guys' answers because you have not clicked submit. So I will let you know as I start verifying information over the next week when I send out certificate of participation and a little short blip for CUs to show what you've done in this webinar series this week. I will know that. And then if I don't have access, then I'll message you directly in our work email and let you know that I do not have access. But our default is that anyone who has the link, oh, I did look at this wrong. You should click on change link to school district. You don't have to change the link. Just click on change it to in the school district. The link will still be the same. I read my screen wrong. I apologize. I'm sorry you have to do that, Janet. All right, so let's go ahead and, okay, working in Canvas and what can be created. So I've talked a little of what's going on and how things happen within Canvas. So I'm going to go back into my workroom that I created for our webinar series this week. Thank you, Kelly, for adding me to your workroom. We're not going to look, oh, no, I don't want that. Okay, so what I've done is I've imported things from my courses this last semester into, that's not where it needs to be, into my workroom so I can show you guys the flow of information and how to fiddle with it. I didn't want to work in my courses yesterday. So as you can see here, we have, again, our left course navigation sidebar. You have your announcements, the syllabus, which I can show you what you can do in it to post the syllabus if you're in middle school, high school. And then grades, as I told you guys yesterday for student view, grades would be what a student would pull up all of their assignments and see everything. When we're working on the teacher side, this is where you're going to find your grades, your grade book. We're going to go into the modules tab. Normally there'd be a home page. I don't have a home page for my workroom. Modules tab is where you want students to work from. So I kind of gave you guys a couple of ideas. So at NVLA, we use a getting started. Like I said, you can present information and disseminate in different ways. We use pages to disseminate specific information. And then we use a course expectation quiz to get them to basically submit a digital form of that signature sheet when you do the course expectations with students. You can even go in further and help build skills for your students so they know what they're doing in Canvas. So at NVLA, we provide different ways for them to work in the course. Sometimes we have them working on a Google Drive document. This one's a Word document, a text entry, which I'm going to go over and show you guys each of these, a URL submission, how to work through a soft chalk lesson. The only time that people will be using soft chalk outside of NVLA is if they use course content that's found in Commons, which we'll go over today. And basically, we have them basically acknowledge certain things about our school and our policies. If you want to minimize the explanation of this part, it's kind of like a working scavenger hunt where they learn how to take a quiz, they learn how to submit a Google Drive assignment. They learn how to submit an assignment if it were a Word document. They learn how to enter text for something small and simple. If they don't have, like for instance, if we require them to use an outside source, so like for instance, if you have your students creating something in Storybird for your project, they would give the link there in a URL submission box. So we basically create a pathway for them to go through different skills and different ways of submitting assignments and working in assignments to build the skills at the beginning of each semester so they know exactly what we expect and how it needs to be done. We will see today if in the Commons, the Getting Started module that is accessible to all has something similar. I'm not sure. I just know we've built this on the NVLA end. I require my students to do specific things as well. I have them sign up for remind.com, like I told you guys yesterday. I have them fix their share drive folders. A lot of times students just share a lot of things to Google Drive from the Google Drive link, or like I'll show you guys when I open up assignments that are hyperlinked in my course, I force them to automatically copy an assignment to the Google Drive. And then I show them how to move that assignment very quickly as soon as they make that copy into my English folder so they know where their work is at all times versus seeing a very long list of documents in Google Drive. I have them take a survey. This one I can show you right now. So my student survey is created out of Google Forms. As you can see, I've embedded the Google survey into this screen right here. This is their submission. This is what they would look at when they complete it. And then you'll notice that since they're completing the assignment in here, there's two things that are going to happen. One, I ask them when they complete the survey to submit this task is completed, Ms. K, into a submission. But then this also means that you have to externally check the responses spreadsheet to give them a grade manually. So there are some things you would still have to do manually, like obviously grading by hand for essays or anything that has written responses, but at least they're not going outside of the screen to complete the survey. It's right here and accessible and ready for them. Let's go back to my modules tab. So I provided two different flows of how I create work in Canvas. So this one is actually a novel unit that I've created. You'll notice that there are headers. You can build in headers. It's super simple to build in headers. So you can kind of break up your information without it being so spaced apart. So everything under Module 3 goes together with the Great Gatsby. You'll notice that some of these icons are at different positions. You can create a flow of information similar to creating headers and bullets in a document. So there are 3 different levels that you can move your titles to. So for instance, right here, Module 3 Overview, the Great Gatsby, it's at the far left of how you can set up your alignment. But I can move it over to show that this is probably the header and all this falls underneath it. You could do the same thing one more time. I think 2 more times, possibly. Yep. So you could do it a total of 3 times and move things over. So I use this as a means to have students notice where things are in the course. You can do the same thing as I do or build your own flow of information. So anything that's flushed to the left side of this line right here, that's a subheader underneath the module and the lesson titles. The titles of the module and lesson components will be in pink for the module and gray for the subtopics. So when I create this, my goal is to always make it known that this information under each of the lesson headers belong to here. Instead of making it look all the same, similar to like paragraphs, We don't like it when students write in those huge, long block paragraphs. And I feel it's the same as a block paragraph when they forget to click the tab button and indent their paragraphs. It looks like a whole big, long page of information. You don't want the students to feel that way with their coursework. So my mindset is to offset the different types of things that are attached to each lesson, or what a lesson would be for us as a week in this specific flow of what they would complete in a week. So for Module 3, Lesson 1, they look at historical content. I provide them a lesson. I give them assignments to complete. So there's 4 assignments to complete this week in this specific part of the module. And then you'll notice something right here. So we will be required to, at some point in time, create virtual sessions that are going to be live, where we walk students through what they need to do. An incentive to get students to come, outside of telling them that it's part of their attendance, is we've learned that if we give them points for coming, they will show up. So we also notice that students tend to disengage in live sessions if they find themselves just staring at a screen and doing nothing. So when I started experiencing that myself, I started creating 2 different types of assignments for attending a live session. The first one, I don't know what, it's supposed to be attendance and then assignment. So the first one is attendance. Any student that comes in, participates and stays through beginning to end in a live session automatically gets 20 points. However, when students attend live sessions with me, I either give them modified notes where they fill in as I'm going through information with them if it's supposed to be lecture style, or an actual assignment we work on together and then they do on their own or work with partners or small groups. That part that they do as an activity in the live session is the assignment. And then if they cannot come to the live session and they have to attend a recording, like some of our peers are doing with our webinar sessions this week, then they watch the recording and then they do the short little activity I give them that is the same in the session for 10 points. I've learned that making the live session stuff more points is a motivator for students. More points, and oh my gosh, I get help to do this and still get 25 points over 10 points. Students have literally told me that. I'll go to a live session, I'll get 25 points, and Miss K will help me go through it. If I do the 10 point, I have no help. That's how they look at it. So I just try to make the flow of information as appealing as I can within the limitations of Canvas. And you'll learn your flow also. All right, so I'm going to add you guys into my workroom. So at this point, I need you guys to, if possible, email me in Gmail really quick so I can have the correct email address for you to add into Canvas. It has to be your Gmail account through CCSD, since I have to use the Canvas workroom approach. So if you could email that to me, please, that would be great. While you're doing that, what I want you guys to do on your own as I'm adding people into my workroom is I want you guys to go down to this left black bar, the Canvas navigating bar, and click on the little C with the arrow going to the right. That is the Commons area of Canvas. I want you to just go in there and look around and see what's in there. The nice thing about Commons is you do not have to download the information in order to see what's in there. So like for instance, let's just click on the first one that pops up. It does take a little bit for it to load depending on your computer, but as you can see, you do not have to download it or import it into your workroom. You can see the flow of information in here. Now, the only thing that you may not notice is if the alignment is different, like it was in my course, that's fine. But at least you can see how the flow of information goes. I would encourage you guys to look through several of these and see how the flow of information goes for each one. Try to look at one from different content areas. And as I get these emails into my workroom, I'm trying to remember what is the next thing I have you guys doing. Maybe you might be able to start that. Okay, so yes, you can do this. So as you guys are doing that, after you click around in comments and you've kind of clicked around and looked at things, go ahead and answer the next question in your Google form. I'm going to go ahead and turn off my mic for a couple minutes. Okay, so I'm going to answer questions really quick in here. There is no content right now for pre-K through 5 in Commons at all. Unless someone is sharing content in Canvas that I missed in the chat screen, there's no way to do that. So Ryan, I went over that yesterday. If you want to hold your question about how to change the different tabs on the left side of the screen in your course or your workroom, excuse me, kind of give yourself a note to remind me at the end of the session. Brian, I will be showing you guys how to use Google Drive stuff in a little while. That's a little bit down the road. I'm able to share modules with other teachers. So Disha, yes, you will be able. So Disha asked if we're able to share modules with other teachers. Like, could I create a full lesson that my PLC can all use? Yes, there's a way to do that. There's 2 ways to do that, but I prefer to answer that question at the end because it's a little involved and it will derail us from what we're doing today. So Rachel, I can understand. So Rachel said, what do you do about students who have inequities and problems with access? Doesn't the point differentiation between attending the live session and attending the playback discriminate against those students? No, it doesn't, Rachel, because what we do is if they don't attend the live session, they get excused from the attendance and the assignment for that live session. So then they're only left with the points for the playback session. So the incentive is there to earn more points, but it's not held against them in the sense that it's a grade that they earn half points on if you're like at a 50% school. MBLA is a 50% minimum F school. Maria, you're welcome to share whichever one you want. You guys are emailing me hello or something, so I have your email address to copy and paste it. If you just go into Gmail, just look for 𝘒𝘢𝘳𝘀 𝘠𝘭𝘢, but I will also put my email address in the chat screen to copy and paste. So, okay, so I'm going to like put it, I don't like, I would put the stop, like, hold on for a second. You guys are asking some questions that are probably not going to be related to here and now. So, and I have to get these emails in. So if you guys could do me a huge favor and write your question on the side so I can get everyone into my workroom, that would be great. Just give me a couple minutes, go ahead and click through and kind of peruse and look at what Canvas has to offer. I'll be right back. I'm switching screens, so I will not be able to see the chat screen. I'm sorry. So is there anyone who has not answered this question yet? If you are done answering this question, go ahead and put answered in the chat screen, please. Okay, so let's get back to looking at how things can work for you guys. So the big question was, how do I use Google Drive documents and things inside of a course? So let me go down here and, okay. So when I create assignment pages, I use this very basic template, which was another reason why I wanted to give you guys access to this, because I have steps already written out on how students can access the work and how to submit it. So for this one, this allows them to submit as a Google Drive document on the back end when they submit, or they can download the assignment into Word documents. In order to save space, you don't want to attach all those documents to your assignment, because like I'm going to remind you, 500 megabytes of space. So that's literally only space for pictures in your course. So you'll want to hyperlink. Now here's a good pro tip. Oh, no, that's not me. What in the world is going on here? Sure. We'll go with that right now. Okay. So what you can do is when you get the share link of a document, so let me pull up a different document and show you guys how to do this. That way you guys will have it on a recording and then you can refer back to it. So let me open up a new document. So when you guys are working in your document, you create your pretty little worksheets and graphic organizers, or set up a working document for students to work on. You go through and you create it. And then in order to create this hyperlink, you just create the text you want to have it in. And I'm going to go ahead and edit and show you guys how to do this. But you come up here to this box right here. So there's two things you have to remember when using hyperlinks. One, make sure you get the correct hyperlink, but also you want to make sure that the restricted getting link is changed to Clark County School District. This forces students to access their work and push their work into their CCSD Gmail account. You want to get this link right here. Now what you'll notice up here, when I post it in here, is that you see it has at the end, edit UST equals sharing. In order to change the shared link, which would open it up and give them editing rights, or it would actually show them to viewing rights, because that's the automatic view for them. They can only view it. Right now it says viewer. But if you want them to copy it into their Google Drive, you highlight this end part right here, where it says the edit, and then moving forward to the end of the URL. And then you take it out and put the word copy. This whole link right here is what you would use to hyperlink into here. So notice I clicked on edit. Let me go back here again. I clicked on edit, and it brings up the edit screen. So I'm going to go over all this in just a minute, but I want to address the Google Drive part for hyperlinking. So you click in to the editing screen, and then you can go on options, or you can come up here and look at the little chain link, or you can Control K to change it. So notice it has this text span in here. Don't worry about what's in here. Go down to link, and then you copy and paste the link in here. So as you can tell, I already have the link in there that was to copy and open up here. When students make a copy, it automatically goes into their Google Drive. Now, before you have them start working on this, you always want to prompt them that as soon as it's fully loaded, you want to move this into another folder. So you would create like a small, short little video using Loom or Screencast-O-Matic or something, and you would move it into, show them how to move it into a different folder. So what I do to build my worksheets, my graphic organizers, and my assignments with my students, As you can tell, I use colors and boxes. I basically use tables to create things for my students in Google Drive. So what I've done is I've created a scavenger hunt for students to use different web links, similar to like a web quest, web links to go and pull information and answer questions based on what I'm looking for them to do. As you can tell, I have heading space, title space that are colored, and then questions, and then spots for answers and responses. You want to be able to basically guide them like it's a regular worksheet if you're creating stuff like this. Again, it does take a little front loading. It does take a little time. I suggest creating templates. I can show you guys at the end what type of templates I use to create things, so I'm not constantly recreating things all the time, to help guide you on that. So when you're looking at maybe attaching something else from your Google Drive. So I know some people have Google Classroom already in their drive from building in Google Classroom. So if you're looking to do the same thing but attach those assignments, just go into Google Classroom in your Classroom tab, or excuse me, your Classroom folder in your Google Drive, and then look for the course you're working in. So we'll do my English 9 that I'm building in. Okay, there's nothing in there. Is there anything in here? English 9 Master, sorry about that. So you can see I have blank quizzes, I have discussion rubric, but I thought I had more stuff in here. Maybe it's this one. Yes, okay, here it is. So as you can see, I've created different assignments for my students to do in a Google Drive. There's quizzes, there are documents. So for instance, if I want to change this specific assignment and make it my visual vocabulary activity, all you would do is change the title, come down here and highlight where you want the hyperlink to be. And then again, you would just do the similar manner of right click, share. And then I was collaborating with someone this summer to help them out getting online. But then make sure that this is changed link to Clark County School District. And then copy this link. And then you're going to come back in here, hyperlink. So you want to edit the link. Come over here. No, open up, please. So sometimes Canvas has a mind of its own and likes to change, like close that window out. That's why I use Control K. It doesn't close out when I use Control K. So remember, if you want to have the students copy, you take out edit all the way to the end. And, sorry about that. Highlight edit through sharing, and then what is going on here? Click copy, and then now it will open up the new document when you save. So as we're talking about building in a Canvas page or an assignment will look similar. Canvas pages, you'll just have this top part. This is the editing box. You'll get a title, you'll get the editing box, you have your editing tool. So on your editing toolboard, you have the means to change the height and size of your font. You have different headers you can use, bold, italicize, underline, change the color of the text, highlight the text, use subscript and superscript, change the alignment. You have minimize means of doing bulleting of information. You can change the tabbing of the text. Obviously, the hyperlinking, adding images. You can add images through uploading course images or user images. Today, you only need to worry about upload image. You can add media. So for media, you can record in the actual Canvas, which I'm going to show you guys in a minute. There is course media and user media. So this is pulling from the back end of Canvas. This is for more advanced users. You can upload documents. Again, 500 megabytes, people. You don't want to deal with that. You can clear the format. You can build a table. You can put in some math equations. And then there's the different apps you can access to put in. So like for now, I have these specific apps updated in my shell that I can work with, and I could plug in this information or a link from those different spots that I have installed as applications in Canvas. When you have the assignment, again, you have all of this, and then you have the means to assign points, the groups. So like when we do our weighted categories, you would have summative, formative, whatever else your school requires. You have the means to show it as complete, incomplete, points, letter grade, percentage. You can make sure, like for instance, my required tasks, I assign points because they don't really look at this part. It normally doesn't tell them until after they submit it, but it doesn't count against them for their final grade. You can always click on that and then it will not count within their overall grades. So Rachel, a lot of times if I talk to a student and there's an equity issue, I'll check this mark in there so it doesn't count against them. But if they do it, it works towards, just go in and then unclick it for them and it works towards their grade. You can do several types of submissions. So when we're doing face-to-face, we can accept paper, unless your school goes one-to-one and forbids it. But you can have online submissions, which is mostly why we would use Canvas. And then the external tool. External tool is if you are, if you are using the Google Apps external tool, which I'm not going to go into because it's super tedious and needs a little bit more advanced work. You can have them do a text entry box, which means they type in their response right then and there in Canvas. I tend to use web URLs because of Google Drive. If they can't get into, what happens is this Google Drive link, while it's a blessing, it can be somewhat of a menace at times because sometimes Google Drive will not sync with Canvas. So I always add website URL so they can give me their share link to their Google Drive document. And then HyperDocs, as Maria said. You can do media recordings, which I'll show you how to do a media recording in a minute. And you can have them do file uploads. If they upload files into your course, it does not count against you and your lovely, huge, very nice, fringe benefit of 500 megabytes of space. It does not count against you. You can have them submitted as many times as you want. You can give them a couple times. Same thing with quizzes. So like for instance, if you're not going to grade an assignment 9 times because a student doesn't follow your feedback the first time around to truly improve their grade, and you're like, I'm not going to look at this 9 times from this kid, you can allow up to 1 submission after their original submission and just bump it up to 2. You can do group work. We all know group work doesn't work online. How many of us have had positive experiences with that? But you can do that. You can have it, file them into different groups, and they work on group assignments. You can require them to do peer edits. So like for English classes, that's really good. When you do a rough draft, looking at the peer reviews, giving them feedback as an assignment, you can force that upon them as well. And then this part is super, super important and super beneficial in Canvas. I don't know if this is something that can be done in Google Classroom, but I like this feature for a couple reasons. So first and foremost, if you already have all your stuff planned out, which we'll all be experts by next summer, and we'll be able to use this more so next year when we get back into our schools and probably have to do blended learning in some form next year. But you can have due dates. You can have it set to where it opens up. So normally for MVLA, what they do is they give the due date. The available date is the first date of the semester. And then you can lock the assignments down. So for instance, if you don't accept work after that first, that 1 week that you did the assignment in, or if you only do like 3 days after it's due, you can put that date in. But what if you have a kid that was sick and they need to submit something after it's locked down? Then you come down here, and then you can look for someone. So I'm going to put, Anna. And I'm going to put Anna in. And so, like, for instance, if everyone had a due on January 13th, semester started on January 6th, but then it closes on 01 𝘒𝘢𝘳𝘭𝘢𝘯𝘢, and then boom, that locks down. But Anna comes in, and she came in the next week because she's sick. So now I still can have it due on January 13th. It could still be available on January 6th, so it's open now to her. But now I'm going to give her another week. So another week from January 9th is January 16th. So then you can add this into her, and then she'll be able to gain access for another week on this assignment. Oh, whatever. So that's basically an idea to give you guys an example of how this would work when you're working in here. Media recordings. So you can on the fly record something in Canvas. It does not record like your screen. It will record your face from a webcam. There's two things you can do. So you can record an audio file, or you can record with the camera. I don't want my camera on because I look like a hot mess, and I just don't like being on camera. You can record, and you can see start recording right here. You have your mic on. It'll record it, and then you can put it in here. You can upload from your computer. Again, 500 megabytes, not a whole lot of space. So the best thing to do would probably be to embed if you can, or you can just give a hyperlink. To embed, it's let me see if I have a video in here. I don't remember if I took out all my videos yet. Okay, here we go. So here is my welcome video from a couple years ago. So in Google Drive, when you open it up, you'll come down to open new window. And then it'll show my video or your video on your end. And then what you want to do is you want to come back up to the three stacked dots and go to embed item. So let me go ahead and do that again. I'm going to go through it again. So you will open up your video in Google Drive. You'll come up to the top right-hand corner and click on the three stacked dots. Go down to open a new window. Click on three stacked dots again and go to embed item. So right now you have an iframe embed web code. You'll copy and paste this web code into your, where'd it go? This is where you would put the embed code. So again, let me show you again. You click on record, upload media. So it looks like a YouTube icon with little music note on it. Download or go down to upload, record media. Click on embed, and then you copy it in here. And then it will insert the video in here. You would have to tweak the dimensions for you to get it to where you want it to be in the page, but you would do that through the embed part. So again, let's go back to embed. Quick and dirty read of HTML. So width is across, height is up and down. In order to tweak it in the middle, so 640 by 480 is pretty consistent in any normal size screen. It looks smaller as you get bigger in screens, but that basically is a good size, so it'll load quick and easy and will not give problems to anyone reviewing the video in your course. If you want to make it skinnier, longer, so like for instance, it looks a little scrunched. So let's try 380. See, now that looks a little bit normal. So you can manipulate the size of your video, and then you can also, if you put the, I'm sorry if my screen is slow. you put the cursor right next to the video, you can also align it to go center. So you can place it center, right, left in the screen. So those are some ways you can work in and use outside things and embed them into your assignment or page. So I know that was a lot of information. Do we have questions? Let me look back in the questions of the chat. Okay. No, I'm not going to share templates as an attachment, no. I'll show them at the end. Can you show what it looks like when it is brand new instead of already completed? Elizabeth Trainer, I don't know what your question means because I wasn't watching the chat screen. You asked, can you show what it looks like when it looks brand new instead of already completed? I don't know what specifically you're asking about brand new versus completed. So it's, Jason, it's 500 megabytes overall per workroom. So, oh, overall, you mean like throughout your whole account? No, it's 500 megabytes per workroom per class shell. Oh, I'm glad to hear that you don't use the Google Drive syncing. No, I'm good to hear. It's 20. So Ryan, I have no idea why they're so stingy and behind with megabytes. I have a feeling it's because a lot of people really, this is meant to be user friendly. So when you think of that, a lot of people make the mistake of attaching a lot of things in the courses and not really be mindful of how much space is. I would take a stab in the dark here. A lot of people probably do not even understand like how that all adds up when they do it. So just having that basic information to force them to do that. It also allows them to, at least this is my thought process, Canvas Instructure, if you go to Instructure's website, you can actually sign up for an outside of CCSD Canvas account where you can build in Canvas without the limitations of CCSD. We do have some limitations in the version we use for Canvas to basically keep us guided and steady moving forward. But there are other things you can do in Canvas if you log into their website and get one of their accounts. I believe the 500 megabytes is to allow for those free accesses. It's not a whole lot of space, but they're allowing you to use their platform in a free manner. While we do pay for space here, I think the overall idea is also to make sure that we're not crashing the system. When you're using a lot of hyperlinks, it forces students to use a different server, and it doesn't bog down the Canvas servers in itself. Having worked in the NVLA Vegas PBS building where the servers are housed with Canvas, used to be Interact, Infinite Campus, we would see how warm those server rooms would get. We would literally feel them in the office. So when you're looking at attaching a lot of documents and students are downloading them, uploading, downloading, uploading, loading videos, this and that, it can bog down servers. So I believe if we're looking at 500 megabytes, it's not a whole lot. I think the intent is just to make sure that we use a lot of hyperlinking, a lot of outside sources, so it doesn't bog down the servers. Let's see. If you embed codes, Patricia, it does not count against your 500 megabytes. Jamie, workroom is not the same as a course. A course is attached in Infinite Campus. A workroom is not attached to Infinite Campus and does not have students in it. Suzanne, I can show the YouTube video later on after I let you guys go. I can answer those questions as people are working in their workrooms. And then Phil's last question, if I put these assignments in my Canvas course, am I doing it as a page or assignment? So if you want them to create it as an assignment, you create an assignment. If it's just for their basic knowledge, then you create a page. Any questions? So you can upload content from different workrooms, yes. So I'm thinking, if this is what I'm thinking correctly, say for instance, if you're working in a grade level department, at the elementary level, sometimes a lot of elementary schools have one teacher per content area. At the middle school and high school level, you could be assigned different units. Yes, so you can actually have information imported into a course or a workroom from other courses and workrooms. It does not do much, but be mindful of what you're importing. So you do not want to ever duplicate course content, because then it could crash the course. So anything that you're importing into a course has to be different than what's already in there. If you're looking to change something in a course, it's not like Google Drive where you update it and you drop it back in there from your desktop. So like for instance, maybe you had a Microsoft PowerPoint in Google Drive, you opened it on your computer, you made changes locally on your computer, and then you drop that version back into Google Drive. Google Drive doesn't keep two versions of it right there in your list of Google Drive documents. Instead, it updates it and gives it a new version, and then you can pull up different versions. That's not the case with Canvas. If you put in an assignment 3 times, it will literally give it to you 3 times. So it can cause confusion. If you do that too many times, it'll crash the course. So be very cautious on how you move information into your workrooms and courses. All right, so let's go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and play this video really quick for you guys. It's Canvas going over how to do this really quick, just showing you what can be done in case I've missed anything. It's a very short video. I'm going to go ahead and switch my presenting screen. So another tool that I learned today is if you're using Google Meet, you can actually have a video played in YouTube or in a tab, what you're listening to or watching, so students can hear it also, but now I have too many tabs open, and there we go. Let's go ahead and, oh, there we go. So as this is playing, you guys should be able to hear it also. I'm going to go ahead and turn off my microphone so we can listen to this short video.
Canvas connects everyone, teachers, students, parents, administrators, in ways that are engaging and relevant for them. From kindergarten through high school, Canvas provides the platform and tools that make teaching and learning easier for the modern classroom.
All right, so I've gone over the tools for creating a page and assignment. Now it's your guys' turn. What I want you guys to do is for the next, let's try 10 minutes of you guys just playing around in Canvas. You can build an assignment or a lesson page. So let me go in and I moved my, I think I closed it out by accident. I'm sorry. Let's see. No, what did I do with my Canvas course? Oh, there it is. Okay, so let me show you guys how to start a new page and a new assignment. So if you want to create a new page, just go down to Pages on the left side of your course navigation sidebar, and then click on Plus Page, and then it will pop up. If you want to work on an assignment today, just go to Assignments. And then up here where it says Plus Assignments on the right part of the page, click on it. Now it will take you to another screen, and then you can build from there. As you guys are building for the next 10 minutes, I will answer questions in the course or in the chat screen that I see popping up. So I left off with Suzanne, who asked, how do we embed YouTube videos into course content? So when you find a video, let's go to this one. So for instance, you have to make sure that a video is approved for nv.ccsd.net. If it's not approved when you go in there, just click on approve and then it'll automatically do it. You'll have to refresh your screen, and then the share button underneath the title of a video will pop up. You'll want to click on share, and then you see right here it says embed. You want to click on embed, and you're going to want to come over here to the right side of the screen and get this iframe embed code. Copy, move back into your Canvas page, find your media, record or upload, click on it, upload or record media, come over to embed, and then paste your code into there. Check your width and your height. If it's okay, that's great. If you want it to be different, all you need to do is click on your media once. You'll see light blue lines around it. Click on record, upload media. Upload, record media. Go back to the embed code. You may have to go back in this again and paste it and then fiddle with it. Now the other way you can access it also is double clicking. Nope, that's not what I want. Okay, maybe not. Maybe you'll just have to copy and paste it. I don't know how I was able to fix it otherwise. So just go in there and click it onto embed and change the width and height. Normally, what's given to you will be decent enough to be in a page. Let's see. So Jamie, for secondary classes like middle school and high school, you're really going to want to hyperlink documents, hyperlink presentations, utilize the external apps if possible to bring into the course from an external site. I would highly suggest not attaching actual documents. Like, so for instance, let me cancel this. In my course, what I've done is, go down here. So this is, so you'll notice that I did attach a PDF. You can also drop the PDF into your Google Drive and then give the link to the reading or whatever you want them to access as a hyperlink. You can build it right here into the modules as an extra, as an extra component. This stuff I'll go over later on this week, but you can add it as an external URL, or you can, again, attach the file. I've also attached a link to an audio, so you can attach links in this way as well as students are working through the course. You could create just a page or an assignment dilemma. Okay, that's a good question. So someone asked when they're done creating the page or the assignment, how do they submit that URL? So as you notice as we're going through Canvas, or if not, you'll notice now as you're clicking through, the URL link will change somewhat. So like sometimes if it's an assignment, you'll see assignment and then it'll have the number attached to the assignment. What you would do is after you're done creating your page or your assignment is you'll go up to the web address bar, click in it, highlight, copy, and paste this link of your page or your lesson assignment that you've created and put it into the Google form. So Catherine makes a good point. Do you happen to know how YouTube embedded videos work in Canvas with 𝘒𝘢𝘳𝘁? During Q4, we had to give our SBT specific links for YouTube videos we want to unblock. So yes, unfortunately, you're going to have to bombard your SBT at your school site to add in specific videos if they're not streaming through properly. Usually, if you just click on approve for mv.ccSD.net, that will go through. But however, I have found out over the course of the years, I may have more access to things within Google applications than other people, mainly because I work at NVLA. So there may be more strict restrictions where you may not have been able to find something like this. So let me find another video where I can show you what I'm talking about. Because I've told people, oh, just add it to the network, and it doesn't happen. So right here, you'll see that it says video not approved for mv.ccsd.net. And I have an approve button right here. If I click on it, it now approves it, and it pops up the share button. If you don't have that approve button when you go through looking for different engaging videos, then you have to go to your SPT and ask them to add it. I would just suggest adding it in general because, quite frankly, 𝘒𝘢𝘳𝘁 is its own separate beast. Sometimes schools have it super sensitive where it blocks a lot of things that it really, really is ridiculous. But those are conversations you would have to have with your school site administrators and SBT. Let's see, I'm looking in comments trying to. Oh, okay. So Cynthia, some of the stuff that is built in Canvas through the Commons, you won't be able to pull it up to see the content because, for instance, if it's a course tune or soft chalk lesson, you would have to physically upload that into a workroom and then ensure that that workroom has soft chalk available in it as an external app to view that content. How can I share and post slides in presenter view? Okay, let's see. That would be a new one I'd learn on my own. So let me see. Where is my? Nope, I don't want that. I will have to look that up, Michelle Freeland. If you could ask that question to me in an email, what I can do is I can create a quick and dirty video on how to do it and post it for everyone to see as we're working through this. Some of the stuff that you guys ask, I can make as videos to show you guys how to do it. So go ahead and send that to me in email and I'll work on that this week. So Phil, do I need to revisit how to put the Google Drive assignment into? You have to hyperlink it, Phil. Do I need to go over hyperlinking the document again in an assignment? Okay, and I'm waiting for. Okay, so I'll do that in just a second. Let me finish these last couple of questions. So. How do you access soft chalk? Okay. Let me go back in. Okay, we are approaching 11:50, everyone. Try to get something into those pages and or assignments, and then get that link into the Google Drive. Or excuse me, Google Forms, so I have access to it. So soft chalk. So to make sure you have soft chalk in your workroom, you would go into your workroom and go down the course navigation bar down to settings. And then you're going to click on apps. Filter by name. And then Oh wait, you might be able to see it once you import it into the workroom. Were you unable to import it and see it in your workroom, Jody? I didn't go over import, so I'm not sure. Okay. Same thing with Cynthia. I don't think you have to have SoftShock in your workroom, because I've never had to do that before when I imported work in from Commons. All right, so to help Phil, out with looking at how to put in an assignment. So you want to go create your tagline or your sentence to have them click to get a copy of assignment. Then you will highlight the statement or words that you want to have hyperlinked Phil. Then go ahead and click on options. Then go into your Google Drive document, which I closed one, didn't I? Now, let me find a Google Drive document. Okay. So then what you want to do is, don't mind this. This is an outdated list. It's not something you guys could actually use right now. This is like 3 or 4 years old. So what you do, Phil, is in your document, go up to the share blue button. You can make sure anyone with the internet can view it, or at least make sure it's not restricted, and click on give access to Clark County School District. You'll copy the link. You'll go back into the assignment. And then you'll paste it in here. And then take out the last part through edit to the end. Make sure you keep the slash there, COPY, and then click done. And then now you'll hyperlink to have them gain a copy of your assignment so they don't mess with your master copy, basically. And then they can create and answer the questions in their worksheet from there. You can save and publish. That's fine, 𝘒𝘢𝘳𝘭𝘢𝘯𝘢. Thank you. Okay, so Stacy asked, when you are doing the submission type, what do we put on online entry options? You can put whatever you want. Me personally, I just use the website URL. It seems like the Google Drive syncing function is going to be in every course regardless. So that will be an automatic option for students. If you're just having them work on Google Drive documents, I would just only click on website URL. That way, and Mel can attest to this also, because she said earlier in the chat that she's resorted to having students share the share link. So this link from a document a student is working in, they would have to put it in website URL because it's glitchy at times. So to have a backup, make sure you have that clicked on for them to submit the share link. Maria asked, do you think we will have to follow a template for our high school courses? I believe that's going to be a site-based decision. I don't know if the district, well, I should say this, The district can mandate it, but school sites may mandate it for consistency of appearance across the board. I'm going to assume that more than likely a template will probably be required at schools. SoftShock is a paid app, Jody, but you should be able to access all the information. I did forget to show you guys how to put comments into your work rooms. So if you want to stop working in your workrooms right now and kind of come in and view how to import work into a workroom. So I'm going to go ahead and I'll import this. All right, so you would just click on any type of content that you're looking to do. And then on the right side, you'll notice it says import or download. So when you click on import and download, it's going to ask you about all the different workrooms. So like I have all your workrooms. I have my courses right now that are still live for me. You would have to choose the correct workroom, which is another reason why I had you guys reword and rename things so you can find it easier. Because as you can see right here, if all of these have Carolina, so like for instance, you'll see all these that just have my name on it right here. Those are the ones that I have published and accessible and haven't basically archived them. If I had all of these with my name, it would be hard to read. Whereas I have some of these that are like workrooms right here, and then these different ones. So you just click on it and then scroll down until you see import into course. You can download, but it's super pain in the butt to import a download. It's easier, especially if you're already in Canvas, to import into Canvas course. Again, do not, even if it takes forever, do not go back and redo it. You do not want to do that. If anything, you just want to go into your course and just wait. Just keep refreshing it until things start popping up into the course. So that's how you import. How do we get the URL for our newly created page? Oh, that's super simple. So when you are in a page, let's go back to modules. I'll just pick a random link of a page or assignment. So up here at the top where the web URL is, that's literally the web URL I need for your assignment page. So again, this is a lesson I built in an outside curriculum, outside source called Articulate 360. So what you do is you come up here, copy and paste this link into the Google form for me. I'm not going to go over how to embed SoftChalk because not everyone has access to SoftChalk. Quizlet, Flipgrid will be looked at tomorrow. No. Phil, I'm going to need to talk to you after because I'm not sure how you're lost. But I'll help you just a little bit. You might have. So Disha, I think, so Jara said that yesterday. I think that's odd because before he had said that 6 through 12 will be in Canvas to remain consistent across platforms, especially with families with multiple students enrolled in CCSD. So that's funny, but he's the superintendent, so I guess. I'm sorry, I'm looking to try and catch. Can I make a new workroom to import a government classroom? Yes, you can. Cynthia, you guys can make as many workrooms as you want. You saw I had about like 20 of them. I actually have more than that over 7 years. A lot of them are just archived since I don't use them anymore. You can create as many as you want. Like I said yesterday, it's probably best to do so versus trying to wipe or, you know, getting frustrated and adding things and changing things. If you want to start fresh, it's probably best to start a new workroom. So there's yes. Right, so that would have to definitely be different than teaching a regular government class when you're looking at teaching for SLD. Very, very true. So differentiation, you may want different workrooms. So you can differentiate whether it's for a regular class, a CC class, self-contained, and anything else like that. All right, we are hitting 11:59 p.m., or excuse me, a.m. So that means we are hitting 12 o'clock. Let's go ahead and have you guys did that. Let's go ahead and have you answer the last question today in the Padlet and in your Google Forms. what other elements or apps do you wish to integrate into your Canvas course? I'll be looking at that to kind of gauge what kind of quick and dirty videos I need to make over the next couple weeks before we go back to work to help you guys out. So those questions like how do I embed a YouTube? Mel said, asked a couple things about Flipgrid, Quizlet, all that stuff again. Yes, I can. Hold on one second. Let me find the view link. I'm just going to give you the long and dirty. I don't have a bitlet on me for it, so there's the long Google form link for you guys to use if you closed it out by accident. Let's see, does it mean I did it correctly and that each kid will get a copy of their assignment? If you hyperlinked it, yes, and you took out the edit, question mark, equals, share, all that stuff, and you put copy, then yes, they'll make a copy. For you to be able to test it out, Melissa Martin, what you can do is go back into your assignment and then click on the hyperlink to see if it worked. So you as a teacher can go in there and click it, and you don't have to copy it. As long as it pops up the screen, do you want to make a copy of the title of the assignment? It will do so, okay? So again, please be honest about the apps that you're looking to have in your Canvas course, and then I will look for the workarounds to try and get them inside the course. Obviously, the goal is to make sure the students are being engaged without having to go to 20 to 30 different websites throughout the school year in order to, you know, engage them in interactive forms of activities and assignments. If you guys want to stay after, I am going to help Phil do the Google Drive forms. One more. Holy cow, my mouse just went all over the place. Tomorrow, we're going to be looking at creating discussions, exploring Flipgrid, and creating quizzes. The day after, we're looking at live sessions on engagement and creating interactivity. And Friday is our big Q&A discussion format session, kind of wrapping everything up this week. If you're planning to come back tomorrow and join me, for day 3, we're going to again look at discussions, quizzes, and exploring Flipgrid. For your homework tonight, I want you to find one quiz that you can create in Canvas. It can be on paper, it does not have to be digital. And then you're going to sign up for a Flipgrid account. It's, I forgot to put the website, hold on. Flipgrid. So it's flipgrid.com. I just wanted to make sure it wasn't something else. It's flipgrid.com. When you go to it, let me go ahead and open it up to show you guys how to sign it. It's super easy to sign up. Just come up here to Educator Sign Up. I would suggest using your, oh, no. Guess it won't let me just sign up. You can use the Educator login with Google Login, and then it's actually easier to log in with Google Login when you do that. And then after that, what you're going to do is you're going to use this code right here on number 3, DYTIC. It does not matter if it's lowercase or capital, DYTIC. And you're going to post your introduction Flipgrid this evening or tomorrow morning before we go in to our live session. I want to try and play some of those tomorrow morning as I work within 15 minutes before we start our session. All right. Thank you for joining me today, ladies and gentlemen. If you do have questions, I am going to stop the recording right now, but if you want to stay after, I'll stay for about 30 more minutes before my kids start pounding on the door and letting me know that it is 12 o'clock.